I can use several paths router features to visually determine when routing violates design rules. Guard bands, for example, around paths and other objects indicate required clearances as set in the design properties. I can enable guard bands by clicking the Options button. On the Global General page, I select the Show Guard Bands on Object checkbox. On the Colors page, I select a color for the guard bands, then click OK. I click the DRC On/Off button to open the DRC Filter toolbar. I then click the DRC Settings button and enable all filters. I also ensure the error response for each check is set to Prevent. Then I click Close. As I begin routing a trace, note that a visible barrier appears around the surrounding objects in the color I selected previously on the Colors page. This band or barrier visually depicts the minimum clearance area. Its width and placement corresponds to the clearance settings defined on the Clearance tab of the Properties window for the various objects. In addition to the guard bands, I can use the length monitor to know when my trace meets minimum trace length requirements and when it exceeds maximum trace length requirements. To learn more about using the length monitor, watch the video, Getting Trace Length Feedback While Interactively Routing. I can also use the visual trace length cues in the navigation window to aid in the placement of components. I click View, Navigation Window. The navigation window appears at its last assigned location. Next, I assign a length requirement rule by right-clicking a component's net and clicking Properties. I click the Length tab and assign minimum and maximum lengths to the net before clicking OK. As I position the associated component on the PCB, the net with the length rule appears in the navigation window. Moving the component closer causes the net to change color from red to green when it meets its length requirements. Note that if I keep moving the component closer, the net changes color from green to yellow if I violate the minimum length requirement. Making use of this feature can help prevent placing components too far apart or too close together to allow traces to meet length requirements.